Police say the attacks downtown after the Taste of Cincinnati were racially motivated and that the charges that came down this afternoon reflect that.
4 adults, Matthew Johnson, Onia Lapsley, Yadia Brown, Joshua McCoy, and a 17-year-old face charges of felonious assault, ethnic intimidation, aggravated rioting, and assault. Local 12 News reporter Deb Dixon spoke with Joe Deters about the crimes. She joins us live downtown. You're near the site, are you not, Deb?
Yeah, Rob, this is where Joe Deters' son Jonathan was beaten up. He was attacked from behind, and he was trying to help his little sister pull her car out onto the main street here. You could sort of see Jonathan Deters lying on the sidewalk in video from a passing metro bus. It's video that helped lead to these indictments. Indictments for the beating and stomping of Jonathan Deters, for Jonathan's girlfriend, and for another man who was simply walking to work. The indictment says they were picked out because they're white. I talked to Prosecutor Joe Deters, Jonathan's father, about this. Of course, he's not the prosecutor in this case.
These are the most senseless, cowardly acts I can think of when it's racially motivated, and you're attacking people from the rear so they can't defend themselves. You're stomping them when they're unconscious on the ground, in the head. You know, thankfully there were some good citizens there that stopped the attack, or John probably wouldn't be alive. It's so off the charts evil to do this to another human being. And when you add to it the racial, the racial component, where they did it because he's white, it's just horrible. There is a much bigger message, and I think the bigger message is both good people, both white and black, when this kind of thing happens, need to stand up and say something about it and talk about it.
Yeah, that's interesting, because ever since this happened, we've had a hard time getting leaders to talk about it. It is a difficult subject to talk about race and crime. It's very sensitive, especially here in Cincinnati. I'll tell you who is talking about it. Those people indicted. The house of cards just tumbled. The police brought them in. They started talking about each other, and that led to the indictments against each other. It contributed to that, of course, with eyewitness testimony and those 911 calls and a lot of other evidence, Rob.
Deb, because we don't hear about this a lot, I have no idea what kind of prison time, if any, is going to come out of this kind of an assault. Do you know what that might be if they're found guilty?
Well, if they're found guilty of everything, it's a possible 10.5-year sentence. Assault alone is a misdemeanor. Aggravated rioting is when you do this, when you assault in a group. That's a little bit more. You add ethnic intimidation, which is very rare, and that starts calculating for these men and this one teenage girl. 10.5 years is the possible penalty, Rob.
This was not a little boy either. Deters' boy is not some wilting child. He's a big man, isn't he?
He's 6'3".
Yeah.
And but you know, they did the cowardly thing. They got him from behind, and then when he was down, they're stomping him. They're stomping him in the head.
Yeah.
He was unconscious. So yeah, I think when Joe called it cowardly, I think that's a good description.
Yeah, thank goodness for the witness there who called police and encouraged them to stop. Otherwise, I think the result would have been horrible. Deb Dixon, thanks very much. 2 of the 4 adult suspects are already in the Justice Center. Onia Lapsley, Yadia Brown, the fugitive apprehension team is out looking for them right now. If you can point them in the right direction, call Crime Stoppers at 352-3040. You don't have to give them your name.